that scoreboard pressure, but NAB, they just take their opportunities, get the ball to where it needs to go. Again, here just backing off on your line, sliding, just creating the opportunity for the NAB side.
And yeah, I guess you wonder how much not having the try awarded there early on was taking it out of the sails of this Darwin team. Darwin team.
Yeah, in these 20-minute each way games, it comes down to one or two moments. You know, it comes down to a bounce of the ball, a decision, you know, a missed opportunity. So, you know, to be honest, I think NAB have been obviously the better side in the first half. But having said that, the scoreboard's now, you know, ticking right over to where it's 14 points to nil with a kick to come.
Here's the kick from the sideline. Young Cuban Piper getting some kicking responsibilities. Oh, he strikes it nicely too, Bo. Straight over the black dot. What about that for a kick?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened probably in the last 10 minutes. You've seen this breeze come straight across the field. We've seen Darwin, when they couldn't get out of their own end, they tried to kick and it just sat up in the breeze. And that one there was a great kick. Put it out to that right-hand side and it just ended up floating in for a 16 points to nil lead. NAB well on top as we head right into half-time.
Only a few moments left coming here in this first half of this round 2 match between the defending champs in Newcastle All Blacks. So we just hear that little hooter in the background. And we'll see one hit up and we'll have a break here in the first half. Referee Jermaine Bradshaw brings an end to this first half of the first round 2 match here in the morning on NITV. It is the Newcastle All Blacks 16 leading the Darwin Eels 0. We'll have the second half coming away right here on NITV. Welcome back to the second half. As you can see, the possession all in the hands of Newcastle All Blacks. Darwin just keep turning it over a little bit and find themselves down there into the field most of the time. And it's a very dominant first half from the Newcastle side. 16 points to nil.
Yeah, they've been dominant. They've worked really hard in defence, and you know, Darwin have struggled to complete their sets. They've just struggled to make any inroads into the defence, and it's turned into points for Newcastle.
Here's Fletcher Strong. Seems to have recovered quite well from that knock in the first half. And here's the kick from
40,
Dennis
20.
Moore, and 40-20 chance. He's kicked it across field. Wooder's just back there at fullback in the right place as the ball bounces back in field.
They will get the win here in the second half, Brad. So, you know, they were struggling to get off their own line in the first half, but now they get this wind advantage and a smart kick there by Dennis.
You'll certainly see him play some very smart footy. He's one of the best in the business. Here's the open side now. Comes Tim Christie. Oh, again, Strong came out. He's got a beeline for Tim Christie in this game. I don't know what's going on between those two, but we certainly just saw it again there.
I tell you what, the Darwin crowd are back involved again. They're fired up to start this second half.
Here's Aaron Simon with the run. Brad Russell again. And that Darwin crowd, you can hear him nice and strong. Here's the kill. No, Will Smith dances away, gets away from one. Good pressure from Quinlan Senior. And it's French underneath it at fullback. Love to see him with some space. He's got some nice footwork as well, Jaden French.
Yeah, they've come out with a lot more intensity in the first part of this second half. Obviously know they're behind on the scoreboard. They've got to create something, and they've started really, really fast in this second half. So we see Dennis Moore come to the bench.
Well, he's not an 18-year-old anymore, Bo. He's a 47-year-old now. Haven't played a lot of NRL football, and also over there in the UK Super League many moons ago. My favourite all-time player here at the KO, and he's taken himself off for a bit of a rest. He's a nice little offload. Gets the pass away now into the hands of Joe Morrison.
Got it. Hands away now.
Morrison will be that man. Looks like he's filled the role as French goes in to dummy half. Oh, a shot over the top here. Been allowed to play on. No, now it's been called a penalty now from Bradshaw. Player down there is Leroy Murray, the player on the ground.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit late. I don't think it was too high, but we'll see it again. I could be wrong. Oh, maybe it was high.
Just crept a little bit there from Andy Sumner.
I wonder if it'll just be the penalty. It seems like it's going to be just that at this stage. And again, NAB, very smart. They're slowing it down. The time continues to tick. There's no time off. And Darwin are chasing big points, but they need to score here, Brad. They score here, they're back in this contest.
Here it is, 16 points to 0. Let's see what the Darwin Eels have here. Open side now, that man Murray. Nothing wrong there, he's Fletcher Strong. Big defence in there from Newcastle. Billy Joe Towers, another father-son combination as young Billy Joe makes the tackle in the headgear. Morrison a dummy half, goes outside now, Murray. He turns around, tries to find somebody. Back to Strong. They need to show us a little bit more here, Darwin. Goes to the open side now, Murray. Short pass. Can't quite get through the line. Now spins again and goes once more. Good defence here from Newcastle.
They got numbers same way.
They go that way, sloppy pass, but it's still picked up and it's play on. Struggling through there is Tyrese Gordon. He can't get to the line. Here's the last tackle now for Darwin. At open side, here's Murray. Grubber kicks through the line, chase through from Roberts. Oh, might have been a knock on there. No, it's been grounded in goal. Nice kick coming through there from Murray and a good chase through from John Roberts. The Newcastle All Blacks will have a goal line dropout.
Second best results, the line dropout. You couldn't get the try. Again, great contest. These games come down to these little contests. Who wants it more? Opportunity there to regather, but Briggs was there to stop it. And again, they're just so good defending their line, NAB. Will they go short or long?
Well, they're kicking into this breeze. I wouldn't be surprised if they look for a short one, but no, he batters it as long as he can. Under the ball here now is Morris Kelly, who hands it off now to Brian Quinlan Jr. Oh, he's almost through. Wearing the 6, but playing more like a lock at the moment is young Brian. He puts his hand up for a lot of runs. He's Strong. Strong looks to pass, holds on to it himself.
Up and stand off the line.
Morrison's been good since coming on for Dennis Moore. And here's Brian Quinlan Senior now.
Here comes Dennis.
Oh, they've lost the ball just as Dennis comes on, ready to try and impact here. He's got to throw his head back and now put himself in the defensive line.
They're just so hard to score against the NAB team. I've mentioned it a few times throughout the call. Again, we just see the mistake there by Quinlan. But they just present you a straight line. They get up. Their first contact is very strong. They don't allow quick play the balls near the line. It's a bit unfortunate that Darwin had Dennis Moore and off the field when they were attacking that line. It would have been great for him to get out of dummy half, start testing them markers and A defenders.
Here's Newcastle now winning the scrum. Only putting their hands up to do the hard work. Comes to the open side now with Chris Piper.
Hands away!
Oh, not a bit of a sloppy play the ball. And that's exactly what we heard from Jermaine Bradshaw, the referee. And in fact, it was Brad Russell, the man with the sloppy play the ball.
Just keeping the door open here for Darwin, giving him another opportunity. We just seen NAB go to their bench. They made 3 interchanges at one time. A few of the Briggs boys are back on. Also Piper in the back row. Get a little bit sloppy around the rucks. It's starting to warm up here, Brad. First game of the day.
What do they got here now? It's with French again. They just seem to be too keen to run the football at the line instead of trying to poke through with some nice passes. Here's John Roberts. He gets the offload away to Morrison.
And that's the thing too, you've got to go together, Brad. They're all going one out and it's making it easy for the defensive line to read.
Well, it shows you how good Newcastle's defence is. They won their first round now on 42 points to 0.
Yep.
So here's an early kick again from Dennis. Geez, turning. Oh, the ball's bounced away and a player comes in an offside position. Oh, gee, I'll tell you what, it's almost in professional foul territory when you're picking it up like that in try-scoring position.
They just haven't had the luck go their way. It could turn, but they haven't had the luck. The disallowed try, the bounce of the ball. Here we see Moran kicking early in the tackle count. It bounces up a little too high here for the NAB fullback. And again, if that was a Darwin player flying through, he scores. But again, Newcastle get number in the picture. They save another try. And again, it's now or never for Darwin.
Oh, Fletcher Strong ducks under one there from Isaac Briggs. He takes the tackle. Morrison goes wide now to Roberts. Roberts, a nice short pass on to Kelly. Kelly's put down there. Big Liam Kelly will play the ball 5 metres away. Roberts takes off. Gee, there's some good, strong defence there from Newcastle.
You've got to get a bit deeper, Darwin.
Morrison now in a dummy half again. Finds Liam Kelly again. Another hit up here from Darwin. They've got to use the football.
Or offload.
He gets the offload away. Roberts at the line. Strong defence again from Newcastle. That low tackle early proved to be the one there. Might have been Isaac Briggs, no. It goes across field. Goes to ground again. Jaden French picks it up. Sees another wall of white, red, black and yellow jerseys in front of him, and then he's slammed to the ground. New players come in. Getting into the back end of this second round match, trailing 16-0. Dennis Moore, and certainly not liking what's going on out there at the moment.
They've got to be smart here, Darwin, too. You don't want to be wasting too much time. There's a bit of indiscretion.
He swung around, put him down there, Briggs.
Again, they've got to do some change of angles or some tip-ons, late offloads. They've got to try something different.
He's strong with the long pass. The ball bounces off the hands, though. Oh, it's called play on. It's gone backwards. In the hands here now of Brian Quinlan Jr. Come to the open side now. Roberts seems to be playing in that middle role. He takes the tackle. They just can't seem to find multiple passes here, Darwin. Morrison. Here's Quinlan Jr. He bounces away from a couple. Good run from the youngster. Isaac Briggs doing a mountain of defence here for Newcastle All Blacks. Here's Morrison, short side, long pass, goes over the top. Oh, and it's in the hands there of Morris Kelly. He scores out wide for the Darwin Eels. Is this the comeback, Bo?
Well, the crowd's back into the game. They're a chance now on the scoreboard. They'd had so much opportunity. This time it was just a long ball. They kept trying to go short, back at the post. This time they just go across the face to Kelly. And this is a huge kick as well because it'll mean they've just got to score 2 converted tries. Wind, I'll be putting it out at the far post. The wind will bring it back.
Here's the kick from Murray. Starts it in the middle. And bangs it out.
Oh, one up, one down.
Oh, it's gone over. There we go. One up, one down. We saw that, but Jermaine Bradshaw had a very similar view to what we did. And that one's gone over. 16 points to 6. Newcastle still lead.
They sure do. There's been a few strange decisions today. Again, the one up, one down. They've awarded the goal, but because it did go over, it was pretty clear. And again, the Darwin crowd's back into it. They're back into it on the scoreboard. It's now important for Darwin to get to the end of their set as we see this kick again. It looked like it was clearly over. Again, the touch judge at the back goes up, the one at the front goes down. And Darwin now, how long to go on the clock? A little under 10 minutes, so there's plenty of time. It's just a matter of what they do with this set and if they can get out of some trouble.
They've been pretty tough here today, that's for sure, this Darwin Eels team. Nice run there. That might be from Keandre Johnson-Vale.
Still moving, still working. Hell, not working anymore. Go,
And they work it upfield here now, the Darwin side. They've been impressive and they've been tough.
Hands away the ball!
They need to use his footy a little bit more. Here's the kick from Morrison. All the breeze behind them, but couldn't quite get enough on it there to get past the player at the fullback. Here's Gregory Morris-Davis.
Great shot.
Fletcher strong, hasn't he put his head in the spots nobody else will put their feet. Here's Aaron Simon now taking off for Newcastle.
Hands away now, up and set.
Just crowding over, you got to be careful not to give the penalty away.
Play the ball.
Tyrese Gordon there over the top. And they come out to the left-hand side now. Dennis Moran getting up to put on pressure for Darwin. I'll have a kick in the breeze coming out of that. You can already see players dropping back there in Morris Kelly for Darwin. Just slowing things up a little bit here, Newcastle. They know what it's like to lead. Oh, and a great run through the middle from Randall Briggs. Coming out the fullback, gets a bit of help. Nice work from the Newcastle side. They were under pressure. Gregory Morris-Davis backs up in the middle and scores a fantastic try off the great work of Randall Briggs.
We've seen the big boys over many years just taking the game when it's on the line. They always stand up. This time it was Randall. He scored a try in the first half. This time just does it all himself. Ball back on the inside from Smith. Randall beats two defenders. And as you mentioned, Morris-Davis just supporting on the inside. And that'll get nabbed through to advancing into the third round. And again, Randall just holds it up, draws the fullback, and a try next to the post. He was brilliant for him yesterday. He's their pride, he gets them going, he's their energy. You know, he's so passionate about his team. He always leads by example. This time, the game was sort of starting to get in the balance now, and we're starting to get back on top. And then just an inside ball, a break, and then a pass inside for a try.
I guess you see a lot of this at knockouts. Teams rotating the players off the field as much as they can early so that they can hold on to all that energy as they play 6 games across 3 days here in the sapping heat. So that wind really picking up here as now Steve Witters gets the kicking duties. This is their 3rd kicker for the game. Mentioning they also have Gregory Morris-Davis as a backup kicker too. They're not too bad on the kicks, and Scotty Briggs also, as we know, has kicked plenty of goals in the history for Newcastle All Blacks. Oh, and it might be Stevie Witters last. We got to enjoy that one. Stevie's like, oh no. Please don't replay that one. And I'm sorry, Stevie, we just might. There he is. Morrison just couldn't stop the rampaging Randall Briggs, who missed out last year and coached the team from the sideline and rode every tackle and every try last year. This year he's back to lead the Newcastle All Blacks team.
It was a bit of a shock to the touch judges too. They were assuming he was going to go over, and then all of a sudden they just go, oh.
I've got to tell you, Bo, I've written 22 in the score sheet already.
Don't do that again, Brad.
Not the first time I've done that. Everyone remembers that great game from Maury and Ewan all those years ago out in Bathurst. The 2 of us called that game.
Oh, you had them all locked in. Maury were going through. It was all written out. You'd had the draw presented and started getting the liquid paper out and scribbling it down.
We sure did. Apologise to all the boomerangs out
No,
there.
19, no! Outside!
Here's the kick from Newcastle into that breeze. This is actually Keandre Johnson-Vale, the youngster,
Now, strong tackle.
bringing it back, taking over the fullback reins of Jaden French, who's done a great job at the fullback area. Here's Ash Witters now, denied a try in that first half. Playing over on the right side now. He must have liked the TV camera side, Ash Witters. He's been on the left wing, now on the right wing. He's avoiding the cameras. He's Dennis Moore, and gee, he tucks it under and says, all right, I'm old man now, I'm just going to do the hit-ups.
I don't know how he does it, Brad. I'm 36 years old. I would not consider getting out on a football field. When I finished at 28, Brad, that was the end of my football career. But you got to admire and love his passion and his commitment to his community.
Oh, he's a nice
tip and chase.
Sorry, Bo. He's a nice kick over the top there. It was from Quinlan Jr., but he's 47. Yeah. He's only 3 years younger than me.
And he's probably been playing since he was, 17 or 18. Remember the great Darwin sides with Dean Witters and Clary Moore. And
oh, he's a nice run through. Cuban Piper is the man. Actually, might have been young Billy Towers Jr. over there. What a
Yeah, two digs at it.
track here the young fella is.
Yeah, two digs at it.
like you said, it's the father-son combination too. I know that Dennis is very always wanted to play with his son, and it's kept him motivated and kept him playing. You see that on the replay here, a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, it was Cuban Piper. I got him right the first time.
But I tell you what, we've got to give full credit to NAB. They've been, they've been great this morning. They've played the conditions. They've won the small contest. They defended really well. They did get a lucky call early, but having said that, they took it on.
Playing on, high on.
And then,
You're just looking at who they beat in round one. They got up over the Waggamob Gindama.
Yeah,
and that was 10-4. You mentioned how tight it was for him yesterday. And a grinding team away, and here they're getting the benefits of that grind and running away with it. Here, 20 points to 6. Just under 2.5 minutes left here on our clock.
14 good.
You see nice pass back on the inside there. Couldn't quite hold on it there, Isaac Kanika Mave.
I think they were just happy to get through yesterday, to be honest with you, NAB. They knew that Sunday's their big day where they've got to play their best football. They got through the first game. They were down 4-0 at the start, and they ended up coming over the top and advanced, and just been too good for the Darwin side here in this second round.
See Brandon Waters there, the big fella there, having a bit of a crack at Aaron Simon. Nice to see that the boys are really pushing to the end of the game. This plays on again now. See what they can do, the Newcastle All Blacks. 30 metres away, in front. Comes to the open side now. Isaac Briggs throws a pass on now to Travis Edwards. He's over the top. Ravi Lockwood. Witters Lockwood gives a pass to Aaron Simon. He kicks through, the ball goes down. Knocked on by the young fullback at the back, Keandre Johnson-Vale. And Newcastle All Blacks will have another crack here with a minute remaining on the clock.
Yeah, both teams made a few replacements, giving everyone a run. And
we must have run out over the sideline, in fact, Aaron Simon. Just blocked by our view here up in the tower. As you see at the Knockout Carnivals, Bo, there's loads and loads of marquees and tents all around the grounds here. And it does obstruct our little view up here in the tower.
Yep, always got they're going to need the tents today, especially with how hot it's going to get towards the middle of today. We're lucky we're getting the commentary box. But again, NAB have just been too good. Their last attacking raid was down that right-hand side of the field. Didn't come up with points, but they've been dominant here, and they might get one last chance to put some more points on.
Hey guys, it's Eli Corliss, his sideline. Simon Allen has come off with an apparent right knee injury. Trainers had to actually carry him to the bench, so concerning signs, and I'll check in on him, but not looking good for the Newcastle All Blacks forward.
Gee, that is big news. Thanks, Eli. Eli Corliss down on the sideline for NITV. What a mainstay he has been for this Newcastle All Blacks, and he's carried knee injuries in previous years. But to be carried from the field, though, in the morning of a Sunday, that could be the end of the competition for Simon Allen, one of the real veterans up front for the Newcastle All Blacks.
And each team does have 25 men, but, you know, if you lose players throughout the tournament, you just got to continue on with what you got. So that's full time.
Last tackle coming now for the Newcastle with the siren sounding. Chip over the top and picked up at the back by young Johnson Vale. And again, always playing to the end, but that pass just going a little bit forward off the youngster. And that's full time in this round 2 match. The Newcastle All Blacks too strong here for Darwin. The hosts go through to round 3, and they'll be played later on this morning. And they won 20 points to 6 over a very gallant Darwin Eels team. It's a very strong performance from Newcastle after what looked like Darwin did some really strong work in the middle. You see a bit of an arm carried there for another one of the Newcastle players. So early on, teams taking some bumps. That looks like Matty Simon who's carrying that right arm. So you can see the hosts really struggling here at the moment. Just you see the possession was pretty even there after what looked like Nab get away in that first half in the possession there, Bo. And the errors leading on the side of Newcastle, but yeah, I guess the scoreboard didn't reflect that at the end. As you see, these are the highlights. It was Randall Briggs just pushing his way through and getting the football down. And the ball came out wide. This was a bit of controversy here in the first half. The flash, Ashley Witters coming down to score. It looked like scoring the try, but the touch judge put the flag up saying that he had gone over the sideline. And here's a nice bit of run out wide. This is from Young. Play out wide. Gets the pass away. And Stevie Witters scores a lovely little try. And then it was nice work down the left side. Christie again. Just that defensive line moving back. And another try out wide for the Darwin Eels. Gave them a little bit of hope there for the team. That was Morris Kelly. And then it was Randall getting away once more, popping it back to Gregory Morris Davis. Too strong, the Newcastle All Blacks, and one of their real stars of last year and also within the NRL is down with Bo Dela Cruz.
Guys, as mentioned, I've got Will Smith here with me. Brother, tight game yesterday, a bit of a more of a convincing win today, yeah?
Yeah, I think yesterday it's always the blowing the cobwebs out, getting back into it and getting the groove with each other. And then it's a good start today. It's got to be better every game we get now.
Look, Randall Briggs coming back, missing out last year. Must be amazing having him in the back row and you know, setting that platform, making your job a bit easier, eh?
Definitely makes it a lot easier for everyone. Actually, he's the intensity that he brings, his professionalism, and our hooker, our captain, Andy Sumner.
Yep. All right, brother, thanks. Good luck for the rest of the tournament. Back to you, boys.
Thanks very much for that, Bo Dela Cruz with Will Smith. And as you can see, beautiful pictures here from Tuggerah. We're going to take a break here and be back with another great game here. Don't go anywhere here on NITV.
Beautiful scenes here at Tuggerah on Darkinjung country for day 3 of the Koori knockout, day 1 of our coverage here on NITV. Dan Conifer and Bo Champion for the time being up here in the commentary position for this round 2 clash. We're down to, well, this morning we started with 32 teams, and by this time tomorrow we'll have 4 in the knockout competition. Bo Champion, we've got the Country King Browns taking on the Newcastle Emus here in this round 2 clash.
Yep, another Newcastle team. We've seen the NAB team advance and win that game over Darwin. And I mentioned yesterday in the call, the King Browns, I hate snakes, but I love this side. They looked good yesterday. They've got a big outfit, a lot of big players, some experience as well. Jade Hooper's one of my favourite players over the knockout tournaments. He's out there as well. He'll be leading the way up front. But this Newcastle Emus team, they're always a strong outfit, Newcastle Emus. They've got some class across the back line. Roberts Davis. You've got Gillard, Griffiths. They've got some real strike. And I've seen my man Joey Williams down there behind the grandstand earlier. He's looking good. Joey does some great work out west in that mental health space, and I think he's running the water here for the Newcastle Emus today.
He might be coaching, well, he usually coaches some of the junior teams.
He does.
At the KOs.
He
so
does.
Might be involved with the 17s.
Great community man, Joey, and very passionate about his people. Does a lot of good work in community.
Doesn't he just? The Emus will have first carry of the football for the opening 20. They'll be running from left to right on your screen. White with green touches for the Emus, who'll play at 17 away from their line against the Country King Browns in their first ever Koori knockout, playing in the white and yellow strip. The Country King Browns team. Players from Western and the New England region of New South Wales, places like Tamworth, like Narrabri, like Gadooga, and all coming here under the Country King Browns banner. Let's see what they can do here and if they can withstand the Emus in attack. Some groans there, calls for a high shot, but referee not agreeing with that assessment, and they'll make it over the halfway line here through Geordie Mitchell, the Newcastle Emus, and he'll play it for the last tackle in this first set of the opening stanza. And with some windy conditions here at Tuggerah, they send the first one sky high, and it is too hot to handle. There's calls for it out wide. There's space here. Can he exploit it? Get it. Oh, yes, he can. He doesn't even need to put the fend on. Kanoa Gudgeon there for the Newcastle Emus. Their winger on this commentary side, scoring early. When the opportunity presented itself, he saw that there was space on his flank, put his hand in the air, and, well, they obliged, sending it his way, and he's sent them into the lead.
First set, first try. Again, the big bomb, the wind, just hung up there. Again, it bounced back. He called for the kick originally, Gudgeon. Gets the ball in and away, left-hand fend, right-hand carry, and carries the ball around. Newcastle draw first blood, the Emus. Again, Doring just went up for the ball, didn't come down with it. And then in this one-on-one situation, little in the way, half goose step, got the left-hand fend out and just had too much speed to go around the right-hand corner. And it was a really good professional first set. They tested the A defenders. They had a little raid down the short side. And then the ball just sat up with this wind. And especially with this wind, running into this wind, you don't want to concede too many points. The scoring points running into the wind is very vital, because in the second half, you'd assume if it hangs around, you will have that advantage.
The breeze playing havoc there for the Country King Browns. Let's see if it challenges our conversion attempt from a metre in from this commentary side.
Well, it's coming straight in his face, the wind, so it might just sit up here.
25 out, he's opened up the angle. It doesn't look bad off the toe, but it is waved away. And we'll stay there at 4-0. But the Country King Browns, well, they conceded first points in their opening clash against Queanbeyan, and themselves didn't score until the 16th minute of the clash, but then stormed back and came over the top of Queanbeyan with a very strong second half to win that clash yesterday in the first round of the competition. 32 points to 6. The Newcastle Emus, for their part, had a convincing 24 points to 4 victory over Tinga. And, well, in that clash, they didn't actually kick any conversions, I don't think. So plenty of tries, and the scoreline could have been even higher there for Newcastle Emus. Tinga collecting a consolation try, if you like, late in the piece in that one. Let's see what the country King Browns can do in what's really their first attacking raid of this match. Playing it back here to Mitchell Doring, getting into acting half, and long ball to the 17, Brenton Cochran, one of the key players in this team, and helped bring the country King Browns to the knockout. Cochran gets into dummy half, and they go on that far side attacking edge, but nothing presenting itself, so holds on to the football does Josh Merritt. He was strong in their first clash, and they'll play it here on the last, 5 away from the line, and back here through Doring, and he again goes to the far side, and grubbering it through is Merritt. It's a nice grubbering kick as well. He's dangerous, that man, Joshua Merritt, and earns his side a goal line dropout.
Try saver there by Tyrone Roberts-Davis. Yeah, it was a good kick in behind. The King Browns, they started pretty slowly yesterday. They've started to get into their groove now. But again, Roberts-Davis saves a try, saves a 4-pointer there. Saving him just as good as scoring them. Now they have to defend their line through a dropout.
The breeze picking up here as well. Speeds of up to wind gusts of up to 45 kilometres an hour today, and whether or not that was a factor in Isaiah Milgate dropping the ball there, we won't know. But what was going to be a threatening set of 6 turned into a set of none, and we'll have possession handover closer in front of our commentary position here by Champion.
Every KO, there's something different. Last year it was the rain, it was a slippery ball. You had to adapt to the conditions. Smart knockout players, they know what to do. They know where to put the ball, and it was a great kick there by Roberts-Davis. And again, just a little bit of pressure relieved. They had a great opportunity there, the King Browns, but couldn't convert.
Jason Gillard taking first hit up after that scrum, fed there by the Newcastle Emus, and 5 shy of halfway here at Tuggerah on the main field here at the Central Coast Regional Sporting and Recreation Complex. Reed Alchin plays it for the Newcastle Emus. They're into King Brown territory here, and will play it 39 away from the line. 3 there in the tackle, 1 still lying to the side of the ruck. They look to exploit the numerical advantage, do the Newcastle Emus through Josh Griffiths over on that far flank, who's finally taken to the turf and will play it 22 out. Some tackles up the sleeve in this set, but they straighten up and go down Main Street by Geordie Mitchell, and the last is called here by our official. And going out of acting half and trying to do it all himself with some dummying and some stepping. That's exactly what he does, Darcy Ettrich. The knockout veteran gets it done. He's wily, that character, and he gets over for their second try of this clash.
Darcy Ettrich, how many times have we seen this in a knockout? This time it's for the Newcastle Emus. He just gets out of dummy half, takes the defence on. Unfortunately, the King Browns slide, takes the dummy. He gets down low and scores the try. But again, it's at speed. The show and go, the step, the swerve, the ovation, and Ettrich scores next to the post. Does it all himself. Just some lazy defence. And again, the #1 rule is an A defender or a B defender. No shows, no dummies, especially off classy number 9s.
Very classy, our Darcy Ettrich there, and really saw the opportunity and made the most of it. No panicking on the last, just getting the job done with some cool-headed rugby league. Conversion attempt this time. Well, the position's a bit easier, but given the conditions and the blustery wind that's blowing across the ground here at Tuggerah, it's no certainty that this one from Tyrone Roberts-Davis will go over.
Well, we've seen a kick in the previous game from the exact same position, missed by the NAB boys. Yeah, this wind is really starting to pick up. As you can see around the grounds, there's not much cover. Yeah, there's a little bit of bush in the up the northern end, but it's a very open space here, so the wind comes right through the middle. He makes no mistakes though.
Takes their lead out to 10 points to nil, the Newcastle Emus over the Country King Browns. The Emus, one of a few Newcastle sides here at the knockout, as we see a replay of Darcy Ettrich's great try.
Always strong teams coming out of Newcastle every year in a knockout. You know, if you draw Newcastle, you know you're in for a tough match. And the Emus over the last couple of years have been thereabouts. Hopefully go a bit deeper into this knockout this year.
Certainly are. The Emus, the Yowies, the All Blacks in the men's competition, and good to see in the junior competitions as well, a couple of the Minda junior boys sides making it through to the grand final tomorrow in some of those younger grades. Minda a very strong outfit through the 2010s in the KO in the men's competition. Looking to get the next generation of Hunter Valley stars into KO football, as we see a good 30 metres gained on that one, right in front of us here on the 50-metre line here at the main oval at Tuggerah is where the Newcastle Emus will resume play. Playing it there, Jason Gillard, and Griffiths offloads it there to Alchin, and Reed Alchin will go within 27. Sorry, that's Cameron Davis, sorry, with the offload, getting it across there to Tom McKenzie, and McKenzie as well getting it away before the Newcastle Emus brought down right in front of the uprights here at Tuggerah. Short ball gets it done, and going over for them is Boucher Satrick. That's their third, the Newcastle Emus. They are on a roll.
They sure are. The fastest way to the try line, straight ahead. Love it out to this left-hand side of the field when halves take the ball to the line. Kingsbrown defender unfortunately come up, made the decision again for him. But again, hard running there from Satrick. The number 4 unfortunately come up with nothing. And Satrick running it inside shoulders, running hard. Newcastle really dominant here in this first half. Leads 16 points to nil. Kingsbrown started slow yesterday, but not this slow, and Newcastle have flew out of the blocks.
He lines up for the conversion, and that one, oh, looks stellar. Flags go up and will go out to 16 points to nil in favour of the Emus. The winner of this one will play the winner of the Walgett Aboriginal Connection side, taking on the Godfrey Swan Memorial outfit. That game currently underway on field number 4 here at Tuggerah. Here in the first half of that clash, and Walgett already looking strong, getting out to a 12-0 lead early, 2 tries and 2 conversions. So at this rate, we'll have a WAC versus Newcastle Emus clash at 2:10 p.m. on field 4 in round 3 of the knockout. But the King Browns, well, they'll want to try and do something about that sooner rather than later. They tightened up their match against Queanbeyan and cut out some of the errors that afflicted them in the early stages and came home strongly. Can they tighten up here with around 13 minutes played in the opening period, and an error from the Newcastle Emus this time will see possession transferred 40 metres out from the Emus line.
Yeah, and what we noticed yesterday, when the wind did pick up, you've got to be really good with your passing. Here, there wasn't too much on, but it was a bit of a pressure pass. Some good defence there by the King Browns coming out, putting some pressure on the Emus' attack. But again, with the wind, you've just got to keep the passes early, keep them nice and short, and keep them direct.
Cochrane gets it to Millgate, and Millgate gets a quick play the ball. They take it up here through Marshall Barker, and a strong run from Barker makes about 10 early in the set here from the King Browns. This is probably the best opportunity that they've had in this clash so far.
18 off the ball.
Number 30, I don't have a number 30 on the team sheet in front of me, so I'm sorry I won't be able to call his name until we get that. But play continues right in front of the uprights for the country King Browns, but one of those basic unforced errors that they suffered from early yesterday, creeping in once again as the breeze picks up here at Tuggerah Oval.
Yeah, a bit of fatigue setting in. They've obviously done a lot of defence in this first 15 minutes of this game. Again, lack of concentration. Some of these early games, it's hard for a couple of them teams that have played yesterday to back up, get up early, and then come here and play their best football. Really good opportunity missed there, and now the Emus will bring it off their own line.
Stand now, all the way, all the way. Go, one.
And takes a couple of the King Brown players there to bring that raid to a halt. Chris Fiddler involved from the outset, finally got some defensive support. Here is Tom McKenzie for the Emus, playing it 33 away from his own end of the paddock. And just some regulation stuff up the centre corridor here from the Emus. Looked like they were going to aim for a 40-20, but it was outside as the referee called it. But a nice kick that finds touch around 5 out from the King Browns line.
Yeah, the referee was very firm as soon as the kick went down. He called outside. Have a look again. Hard to see there if he was inside or outside. Uses the wind. Wind takes it over the sideline, and they're now going to force the King Browns to bring it off their own line. 4 minutes to the break. Very important period here. If the King Browns want to stay in this contest, they probably have to score next. And just before half-time, we'll give them some momentum going into that second half. But the Emus' defence has been great here in the first half. Their attack's been good. They've been very professional. They haven't given the King Browns much, and when they did, the King Browns couldn't take advantage.
They'll be looking to use defensive pressure here, the Emus, to force a mistake and pick up a fourth try for the first half before the change of ends. Let's see what the King Browns can do here, getting it away through Cochrane, and it is a loose ball, but the whistle blows and saves the King Browns from what would have been that fourth try. The referee saying tackled before he'd even caught the ball, and reprieve for the country King Browns.
Yeah, probably a little bit lucky here. The ball went out, went along the ground. Wasn't much affected on the inside. We'll see it again. He was taken out, but the ball had gone past him. The Emus winger picks the ball up. Would have raced away for another try. Here's the King Browns' opportunity. It's probably now or never. They have to score before half-time. Emus' defence has been great in this first half. The King Browns are going to have to try something, some change of angles, offloads, maybe a bit of an early shift.
2 off the ball.
Let's see what they can do. This is prime position, prime real estate here for the country King Browns. Joshua Merritt is picked up and speared into the ground almost. Plays at 31 out, gets it back here to Brenton Cochrane, and Cochrane playing distributor once again. Looks to get into acting half, but Robert Lane beats him to it and gets it away to Jeffrey Harvey, and Harvey makes a couple of metres after hitting the defensive line before finally playing it 16 out from the line. The King Browns here through Cochrane, trying to make it happen for this team. He's pulled together for the knockout. Stepping play there through Parry, and Parry plays it for the last, the former Parramatta Eels NRL player. Back here through, and tries to go himself, does Cochrane. He's tried to make something happen for them a few times, but doesn't make it happen there.
Easy up, easy, easy, easy.
Not happy about something either there, Brenton Cochrane, but let's take a look at the replay of how this last play unfolded.
Yeah, Cochrane using his soccer skills. Went left, kicked right, and then it starts to flare up. He wanted the ball back quickly. Nothing's come of it. They'll get the scrum.
They race to the scrum to make sure that it can pack and go as soon as possible because they see an opportunity here to the King Browns through their fullback Doring. Mitchell Doring still going, slithering out of a few tackles before finally being brought to the immaculate turf here at Tuggerah. 6 metres out, another penalty here. The King Browns and go quickly through Doring, steps off the right, but there's 3 Newcastle Emu defenders there waiting for him, and they'll, well, thought they were going to hold him up, but instead they stripped the football in the in-goal area.
He's not in the act of scoring.
Newcastle Emus saying that that should have been legal. The referee, you heard him there. You can only strip it legally in the in-goal area in the act of scoring, which he was not, and the ball goes loose. 6 more, but they don't need 6 more. They get over finally here, the Country King Browns. He'll check with his sideline official before awarding the try, but it looks like they might have collected one here.
Go back. Go back.
Huge call here, huge call.
What was that, sorry? You're going with loose carry?
She thought it was loose carry.
Okay, we're going loose carry. Come on. Lost.
I think it's the right decision. We'll see it on the replay, but it seemed like it was a loose carry originally from up here. Nah, it was a strip. I'm wrong. Should have been play on. It should have been a try.
Ooh, that is a huge call. When finally they'd wrestled some momentum, the King Browns, and had come up with points off the back of back-to-back sets. That is a very harsh call.
I gave the officials some, real raps yesterday, but unfortunately we've seen a few howlers this morning. Let's hope it picks up throughout the rest of the day. They do a great job. It's not easy.
You guys had 3 players over the ball, but he's standing upright. He's not in the act of scoring.
The referee's just explaining the previous strip as well. But it's the Emus 16, lead the King Browns 0. And you get a
And they're back out there on the main oval here at the Tuggerah Sporting Complex. 16 points to 0. The Newcastle Emus ahead and with 1 foot into the 3rd round of the 2023 Koori knockout. It almost could have been a tighter scoreline had that try been awarded just before the break to the King Browns, but wasn't to be, and we will get back underway shortly with the Emus in the white and green running from the right to left on your screen, taking on the Country King Browns side from Western New South Wales and the New England, bringing together players from across a bunch of bush footy leagues to the knockout in the white and yellow with maroon numbering on the back and maroon socks. can they pull something out of the bag and get through to the next round of the knockout? The winner likely to play Walgett Aboriginal Connection in the next round, and that breeze playing havoc. It's up to 45 kilometres an hour, the wind here at Tugger, and it certainly hurt the Country King Browns right there. What a start for the Newcastle Emus. They'll get the ball back off a goal line dropout.
Yeah, we see the power of the wind. Great kick, but again, you can use the wind, but you've got to chase it as well. And the chase was fantastic. Put the ball up, kick it deep, chase, work hard, and now you get the ball back. Or do you?
It's one that goes 30 on the fly, gets caught in the breeze, but taken safely, and Newcastle Emus' Reid Alchin will play it for the first. Appeals for a penalty with the defenders slow to clear the ruck, but not forthcoming. Jared Johnson will take this hit up for the Emus, goes within 18 of the line, and play it back to Darcy Ettrich for the Emus, and pops it short there for McGee. Cleveland McGee standing in the tackle, held as called, and McGee finally plays it back to Ettrich, who comes back towards the commentary side of the ground. Off feet there, some soccering rugby league. It's bouncing around before finally landing back in somebody's hands, the Newcastle Emus' hands, before once again going to the turf. This time not off feet, but off a knock-on. We'll see the scrum pack down and a messy minute of play come to a conclusion.
Well, that last 30 seconds won't make the NITV highlight reel, that's for sure. Again, a few balls going to ground. It's getting a little bit sloppy, but they're not going to stop chancing their arm here, the Newcastle Emu side. They turn the ball over here. King Browns will start their set from just before halfway.
The score in that other clash at the moment on field number 2, Walgett Aboriginal Connection 20 leading the Godfrey Swan Memorial side 0, with 4 tries going the way of WAC so far. So they're on track for a third round appearance, as are the Newcastle Emus at this stage. But can the Country King Browns throw that into some doubt? Ethan Parry here carrying the football up and earning his side a penalty. It is a quick tap with a couple of the Newcastle Emus players yet to get back the requisite 10, and Harley Milgate will play it. 13 out from the line. There's a Newcastle Emus player down in black play, so they're playing against a defensive line of 12 at the moment are the Country King Browns. Right in front of the uprights is where they play it back here to Robert Lane, and Lane gets it away. Can he finally get across the stripe? Brenton Cochran can't do it on that tackle. Again, they go close to the line. They're over. Have they planted it this time through Jade Hooper? Jade Hooper, the former Newcastle Yowie. Has he scored against the Newcastle Emus? Yes, he has. They're on the board.
I love Jade Hooper. He's a knockout player, and this is his special move. 10 out, getting the ball one-on-one, get the bumper bars up, and get out of my way. Here he goes, 2 meters out, hits, spins, get down low, gets the ball down, gets the King Browns back into the game. Again, just hard impact into the line, using that strength, turn, twists. And gee, what a decision before half-time not to give that try, because would have got the King Browns right back into this game. They're not dead and buried yet. And there's our man on screen, and try scorer Jade Hooper. Went to school with Jade actually in Endeavour Sports High. He's a character.
Tell us more about that, Bo Champion, or is that for Koori Knockout After Dark version?
No, he was in the targeted sports program there for Rugby League at Endeavour Sports High. He was a character in itself. We had a few characters out there, and I see a lot of brothers that did actually attend Endeavour Sports High that still get out the knockouts, see them around and see what they're doing, and doing some wonderful things in their own communities, or still running around the knockout, which is fantastic to see. But Interesting last 15 minutes here. Newcastle were dominant all that first half. They got the win at their back. You'd think they'd run away with it, but the King Browns are, there's just something about them. I wouldn't rule them out.
And that conversion important there for the Country King Browns as well, because if they convert 2 tries, well, they hit the lead in their own right without drawing level. And of course, the rule here at the knockout, if it's even at the end of full time, it is the team that scores the first try that goes through. So the conversion important, the juggle just doesn't pay off there for number 8, Chris Vidler for the King Browns. And we'll see, well, this is pretty dangerous. The scrum packing down on the red stripe of the 20. The Newcastle Emus, if they hit right back, well, you'd almost say that that was the ball game.
Yeah, Newcastle score another try. It's curtains for the day for the King Browns. Again, they were unable to complete their set. The first set of the second half, unfortunately, the ball went dead. Now's a great opportunity for the Newcastle Emus to put the nail in the coffin. Even though there is just under 14 minutes to go, it's going to be hard running into this win to eventually try and score, you know, 3 or 4 converted tries.
We might need some sandbags up here in the commentary box. The television's just fallen on Boat Champion. That's how breezy it is, if that's some sort of indication of the conditions here on the Central Coast. But back on the field, Jason Gillard will play at 12 away from the line. They make their way outside the tram tracks to the Emus and centre up. They're just to the right of the uprights, and they come back here through Jerome Hayes, getting it away to Alchin. Alchin gets the pass back to Hayes. It's on the deck. It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. And with the leap to top it off, Cameron Davis scores a try. I was worried he was going to fly over the dead ball line, how high he went there. But he went so high and then came back down to earth for their 4th try.
Yeah, they had big numbers out to this left-hand side of the field. The short ball there, but then unfortunately the pass back goes to ground. Now the balls that go to ground are always the most dangerous because it stuffs up the defensive line. You're not used to it. You're sort of looking at the ball and then flying through in the number 22 for the Newcastle Emus. It was actually number 21, Cameron Davis. And they call this a swan dive. He got nice and high, he got elevated. But yeah, the ball that goes on the ground or the second kick, they're the most dangerous because you're not expecting much. You half relax and then the gap opens up and they take full advantage. So now looks like Newcastle will advance. Had a little bit of a scare there. They regrouped, they got back into the grind, come up with points. And Roberts Davis will look to convert from right in front. Wind at his back. You can just see there the mullet. Watch his mullet. You'll see how much wind's blowing.
Who needs a weather vane when you've got a mullet on the back of Tyrone Roberts Davis? The flags go up and the extras are added. And the Newcastle Emus, well, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief on the field and on the sideline, including Joey Williams, who you mentioned earlier. Here we go, call in air traffic control because we've got a unscheduled flight here at Tuggerah. The number 21, Cameron Davis, caught beautifully by one of our NITV camera operators down there. But the Country King Browns, well, nobody's told them they're out of it because Nick Miller is trying to recharge their attack, and this will be Vidler, Chris Vidler, for them going within 10 of the line. Picking up the ball off the restart, back here to Trindle, and Trindle popping it back on the inside for Miller, getting a touch on it once again in this set. Nick Miller playing it 5 away from the line, right in front of the left upright, back here through Cochrane, one of the playmakers for this side. Shaped to pass, but didn't in the end, and mightn't need to either. Joshua Merritt, he's another player that could spark them here. Merritt for the King Browns. High ball, but caught well by Cochrane before he pops it back on the inside for Miller. Nick Miller will play it for the last, right in front of the black dot. And the ball goes behind. It's sloppy stuff and can't pick it up cleanly. Chris Vidler, and kicks the ball away in frustration.
It was their best player yesterday, Vidler, and I think Newcastle did a bit of study and they've stopped him today. Not easy to get down, pick that ball up, especially after you played a game yesterday and gone through, you know, 30-odd minutes of a game today. The wind's playing havoc.
Let's go.
When the ball's on the ground, it's moving around. You've got to be very precise with your passing. You've got to get the ball out in front.
Okay, play there.
Just some simple things that just aren't paying off at the moment for the King Browns. But what a clash it's going to be next if the Newcastle do advance. WAC, we've seen, you know, Walgett Aboriginal Connection beat the Sydney All Blacks yesterday in what was the game of round 1. And we know the star-studded lineup they have, Jack White and Ben Barber, you know, up against this Newcastle team who are fit and strong, who'll compete all the way to the death.
Currently leading 26 points to nil, the Walgett Aboriginal Connection side. And of course, you can't mention the Walgett Aboriginal Connection team without mentioning the Rose Boys, Matt Trent and of course Gorgeous George.
No Limit, the No Limit crew.
The No Limit crew these days. Boxing promoters by day and Koori knockout specialists come the long weekend. That will be one clash indeed as the Newcastle Emus motor their way towards halfway here at Tuggerah with 8 minutes to play in this second half. There's two tackles in on that set. I think only one will get registered on the tally as the kick goes up. And well, the wind here is challenging, but not too challenging for Samuel Coe at fullback in the number 26 jersey, who takes it well. Strong defence there from the Newcastle Emus. Nathan Davis that time wrapping up his man and potentially earning his side possession, but no, a strip rules our referee as opposed to some defensive pressure paying off. But and the kick does find touch. It almost looked like it'd get caught in the breeze and blown back onto the field of play. But no, the Country King Browns maintain possession, and there he is again trying to make up for it. Is Nathan Davis, this time in defence, monstering the Country King Browns. Number 4 there, Ethan Parry, as Brenton Cochran. He's been good in a side that's been down throughout this contest, has the 17, and Vidler straightens up the point of attack, and Chris Vidler will play it 25 metres away from the line, and they elect to go left through Trindle. Joshua Trindle, the ball finding Mitchell Doring. Doring plays it 20 away with a tackle or two left in this set for the Country King Browns, but they once again don't get to the end of their set, and we'll see a breather and the Emus take possession.
Yeah, they're still trying to the death here, the King Browns. But how good is it these days at the knockout? You can just click on the KO app and see who's playing next and what the scores are around the grounds. And, you know, back in the day, you used to have to walk from field to field, or, you know, someone would come over with a yarn of what happened on that field and what happened here. But now you can just click on the app and it keeps you all updated. You know the games that are coming up next. It's fantastic.
Lock in there. Let's go, let's go.
Some things have certainly changed at the knockout, while some things remain the same. Many things remain the same, and we wouldn't have it any other way as the Newcastle Emus make their way 25 away from the line. But it is great to see, in terms of things that change at the knockout, new teams that are entering it for the first time, like the Country King Browns, like, well, the Wilcannia Boomerangs. It's not their first knockout rodeo, but their first in 27 years yesterday when they were knocked out in the first round. The fact that more and more teams from different parts of this great state want to play at this great carnival is, well, testament to how important it is for rugby league players, rugby league fans, but more importantly, the community more generally. Yeah, and you've seen a lot of community teams over the years that, you know, they're from the same area but might change their jerseys, change their team, change their names. But again, this year there's been a high representation of NRL stars here as well, which is not just great for the football, it's great for the kids who come out to meet their favourite players and get to have a yarn with Cody Walker, Latrell Mitchell. I've seen Isaiah Tass here this morning, and some former NRL greats here as well. See a couple coming up for the Yowies soon.
Wait now, wait. Go, 1.
think it's just a sign of how important the knockout is, and for our Aboriginal Koori, Goori and Murray Rugby League stars, just how important community and playing with mob is for them, as the Newcastle Emus all get a pass away. Didn't think they would, but it goes to a Country King Brown player. Does he have the speed and does he have the strength to fend his way further than halfway? No, he doesn't. Taken down there well by Luke Geary. Important intercept there for the Country King Browns when they were under pressure. And loose carry there from Parry sees once again a Country King Brown attacking raid, and earlier than it should.
Yeah, I do like, though, when you make a break or get on the front foot, you do a two-pass wide, give your centre an opportunity. This time there, he just couldn't take advantage. Bit of a loose carry. It's starting to get warm out there. They're predicting by 1 or 2 o'clock here it'll be around the, anywhere from 32 to 36 degrees. It's probably, we've still got a bit of a breeze here at the moment, which is fortunate. Otherwise, it'd be very, very hot.
Oh, strong contact there. Parry trying to make up for it with a front-on challenge against Geordie Mitchell. Mitchell will eventually play it, and straightening up for a hit up there is Boucher Satrick, one of our Newcastle Emu try scorers. One of many try scorers for them in this fixture so far, but they won't score another one off that set. An update from field number 2, Walgett Aboriginal Connection. They will be going through to the 3rd round, but good to see that the Jeffrey Swan Memorial side, they've picked up a try, so they don't leave empty-handed from the 2nd round. The Sunday here at the Koori Knockout. Back here on field. Well, it's field number 5 technically, but it's the main oval here at Tuggerah. We see the Newcastle Emus 4 tries to the good over the Country King Browns. With 3 minutes to play, don't go anywhere. There's football all day long here on NITV. 10 matches here on the main field. Coverage all day long. Don't miss any of it. And as the day goes on, the competition will heat up. That I can promise you. As the Country King Browns look for which way they're going to go, around the ruck, right or left. Well, either way, they weren't going to progress very far, it seems, as Cochrane, he's been a workhorse for them out there, the number 17, Brenton Cochrane. He and Stephen Lane getting this side together. Stephen Lane coaching the Country King Browns, and he puts it onto the toe, the 22, Joshua Merritt. And hopeful, but it didn't pay off. And the Emus, well, through their number 2, Luke Geary, will turn defence into attack in their own end of the field.
Yeah, they're trying everything to get a bit of a consolation try late, the King Browns. Their tournament will end after this game as Hawkins kicks out a dummy half, trying to use the win for a 40-20. A lot of these King Brown boys are going to be slow to get back. They're walking, hands on hips. Decent chase here by the Emus. And they'll get a chance to fire up here one more time.
Plenty of both the Emus as well, mostly the King Browns still walking their way back into their respective lines. It's a hot day after a hot Saturday here on the Central Coast as well, and well, the fitness levels have to be at their peak if you're going to go through into the latter stages of the Koori Knockout. This year more than most, given the weather that has greeted us on the Central Coast of New South Wales. We're in the final minute here of this round 2 clash, and the Country King Browns with what will be the final attacking raid for them for this 2023 Koori Knockout, and what might be a slightly unkind call of a forward pass. We'll see.
I think both teams, yeah, be happy just to move on now. The game's well and truly over. Newcastle got a big test next against WAC. They've tried it a few times here on this right-hand side. Looked flat at best.
And also got to factor in the breeze. If it looked like it went forward, it probably wasn't forward out of the hands in all likelihood. But It's all academic at this stage. We'll hear the siren in the background in just a moment. That will mark the end of this round 2 clash. They've got a few hours break, do the Emus, before they have their biggest clash of the tournament so far against the Walgett Aboriginal Connection, and they get there courtesy of this victory, 22 points to 6. And we'll go down to Bo Dela Cruz.
Hey guys, I've got Tyrone Roberts-Davis, brother, a bit of a change in intensity from the QMC.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion here. It always is. Different, you can see it, it's different intensity here. A lot of passion. People, us play for our fucking hometown, and as you can see, it gets really rough and emotions gets better for some people sometimes.
You won that quite convincingly. Second half got off to a bit of a slow start. What do you guys need to come back to tweak for your next games?
I think it's just discipline. Like, we've got the team to get down the field. It's just holding that ball. You're in knockout footy, you hold the ball, you win the game. It's easy, start of the team.
All right, brother, good luck for the rest of the KO. Back to you, boys.
Thank you, Bo Dela Cruz. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that clash, and the high ball going up. That was always the challenge. This was early on. This was their first try, in fact, for the Newcastle Emus quite early on, and getting it done there with the Fend Kanoa Gudgeon. That really stamped their authority on this match early. It was a very canny run from a knockout veteran in Darcy Etrich that collected their second try for the Emus. And this one, just a strong forwards run. Boucher, Satrick just powering through the line. And, well, here go the country King Browns. This is how they got on the board for their one try through Jade Hooper. And call air services Australia, because I think we're about to see a plane take to the skies here for this final try for the Newcastle Emus. There he is, landing at Tuggerah International Airport, Cameron Davis in the number 21 for the Newcastle Emus. Who said Emus can't fly? Cameron Davis could. They could in this clash, getting through to the third round. Let's go to a break and back with more footy soon.
Welcome back to NITV's live coverage of the 2023 Koori Knockout, live from Tuggerah on New South Wales Central Coast. My name's Eli Corliss, and alongside me is the great rugby league legend, Dean Witters. Dean, how are you, and how are you enjoying the Sunday morning here at the Koori Knockout?
Oh, it's been excellent. You know, the football's been fast and furious, and you saw NAB get a win there earlier. The Newcastle Emus, a bit of the Hunter power here early, but
sure.
they're two tremendous teams, and they look like they're going to go a fair way into this competition.
And we're about to see two more tremendous sides, with the Laperouse Panthers one side taking on the Next Generation Kangaroos, the side out of Campbelltown. They got a bunch of mob from Lismore and also Kempsey as well. And this has actually been a long time coming for this Next Generation Kangaroos side. I was having a chat to their side just before kickoff here, and it's been 3 years in the making. This is their first big knockout, and yesterday was their first big win with a 26-6 win over the Dubbo Pacemaker. So a nice way to enter the Koori Knockout.
That's a good story, isn't it? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, families coming together. It's like a bit of a reunion, a bit of a symbolic thing for young people to come through and play for it with their older relatives and their uncles and their dads, and this community sort of done that. So it'd be good to see them put up a fighting, because Laperouse are one of the favourites of this competition and always been one of the strong sides.
And we'll throw it down sideline to Bo Dela Cruz. She's got one of the Newcastle Emus players sideline.
Yeah, I don't think he's a player. I think he's a bit of an old man. I've got Joey Williams and his boy Romy with me. Brother, good to see you back out here. Wanting to get the boots back on yet, or what?
I'll be honest, I graduated to the Golden Oldies at the Dubbo Knockout. Once you graduate to the Golden Oldies, you can't come back. So it's just good to see all these young, the way the tackle, the speed of the game now, mate, it's a young man's game, and you know there's plenty of ability here.
And yourself, what have you been up to lately?
The last knockout I played in was with Newcastle Emus, and I've just been with Newcastle Emus ever since that, since 2000. 2018 or something like that. So it's good to be back with that crew, and you know it's good to see people. A lot of the year I work around the wellbeing space, mental health, so it's good to catch up with mob that I speak to online and stuff like that, and just have good positive conversations.
And just results from the last game, convincing win, off to a slow start in that second half. What do you think the boys need to do to sort of tweak and compete at that next level?
Well, the next level is going to be a very big next level. We play against WAC, and you can't afford mistakes, and you can't have silly drop balls and things like that. So you just got to ice your opportunities, because you know that they will.
Yeah.
You know? So it's one of those things where they'll be in, the boys will be in it for a fight, and it's the way it is. It's, it's knockout footy, can go either way. We just get out there and do our best.
Hey, Romy, would you like to see Dad chuck the boots back on?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Bo.